Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy. I know you guys have probably been expecting me to put out a couple of Christmas themed videos this week, but unfortunately, I've sort of been down with the COVID again on day number 6 now. So, haven't been really too productive this week other than answering email and things like that. But I wanted to get another video in before Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you all, by the way. And I wanted to answer or address a lot of questions that I get about images, about burning images on wood. Now, I've never been one for burning images on wood. I just I'm not into the whole black and white thing. But a lot of people are, and I get this question all the time. How can I burn an image on wood? Everyone gets this advice out on the forums and on social media about going out and going to this website and, processing it this way. It would take these certain steps and export the picture and just going through all these different steps. And I have done a couple of photos in the past. But I've never done it that way. I don't really understand the questions that I get so much because I just drop a picture in and I burn it, and that's all I do. I let Lightburn do the processing. So I thought today that I would visit one of these websites and go through the process and get an image processed out, bring it into Lightburn, and then just drop the original image into Lightburn and do a comparison and see. Maybe I'm wrong. I've just never felt the need to go outside of Lightburn software. So we're going to try that today. And with that said, let's jump over into Lightburn and get started. Okay, so here we are in Lightburn, and I have the same exact image here. This is a picture of my wife and I in Thailand standing in front of a 2,000-year-old tree. So now this is the original picture. No editing whatsoever except scaling. I scaled it down to 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And this is the processed image at Imag-r. Up here, and I think I have this titled wrong. Yep, I sure do. I have it set at, I put 6,000. It's not actually. It's 4,000. I don't know why I did that. So let's correct that real quick. All right. So if we look here, I'm going to bring this up. This is the Lightburn image. I've got it set at 4,000 millimeters per minute, 85% power. I've got a 2% overscan at 285 dpi, and I put it into newsprint. The only pictures that I've done in the past, when I've done my testing, I always found that newsprint was the best result. So that's why I chose newsprint. I do not have pass-through on, so Lightburn will process this image. This is the Imag-r image. I have it set at the same speed and power. I have it set at the same overscan, and I have it set at the same DPI. The only difference is that I have enabled pass-through here, so Lightburn will not even look at this image to process it. And if we take a preview, you'll see that they look substantially different, which sort of surprises me. Imag-r processed in threshold, yeah, and I'm doing newsprint. I'm not sure which one of these is going to be more defined, but we're about to find out because I'm going to run this burn now. Let me just make sure everything's in the right spot. So I'm going to come to my camera real quick. Let me update my overlay, and these look perfect right where they are. I have a piece of basswood on the table, and these are 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So I'm going to come over here to the laser tab, and I am just going to hit the start button. In a moment, I have to run over and turn on my smoke extraction and my compressor because I am going to use air assist on this. I don't want any burnt edges. I will be cutting these out as well as engraving them. So I have to turn on my air assist and my smoke extraction, which is going to be sort of loud. So I'm going to put you on hold, and then I'll come back with the video of what happened. I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to run that video in hyperlapse speed. And on the left here on the screen, what you're seeing is I've gone ahead and changed this picture in Lightburn to threshold, which is what Imag-r outputted, was a threshold image. And I've made some adjustments as well. Let me show you how I did that. So now we're going from just drag and drop into Lightburn to actually adjusting the image. This is the original image down here. And all I did was right click on the image, come down here to adjust. And in here, you can do everything that any other software program can do. What I did was I put it into threshold. I enhanced it up to about 750 or 60 or so, somewhere in there. And I moved the radius up until I found that I thought I had a comfortable image. I went ahead and raised the contrast just a little bit, raised the brightness just a little bit, and brought the gamma up. And I wound up with this image. And here, this is the beauty of Lightburn, is that once you get used to doing this, and it's just a couple of little sliders, and you just scrub them back and forth until you see the image that you think you should use. Just scrub them around like so. Once you get an image that you think looks good, well, at that point, there it is right there. And that's the one that I used. And it took me all of, I don't know, 30 seconds to do it. So a lot less time than, going to a website and uploading a photograph and going through all the steps and downloading it and importing it, doing all of that. So what's the difference, you might ask? Okay, well, here are the final results from the burn. Let me just zoom out just a little bit. All right, so here is Imag-r in threshold. This is Lightburn in threshold. I had to cross this out. I forgot to change that when I burned it. So this is processed Lightburn in threshold. This is just over here, dragging and dropping the image onto the workbed and burning it. Still came out pretty decent, not great. You still need to do a little processing. But this is the comparison between spending 5 minutes processing this on a website and 30 seconds processing it, this one here, in Lightburn. And then I went ahead and processed it again in newsprint, which is my favorite, and I think came out the best. Maybe 15 or 20 seconds worth of processing. You be the judge. In my opinion, I think this is the best image right here. Even though Imag-r chose threshold for wood, it's not what I would choose. I would choose newsprint because it has a more lifelike result. So what do you think? Again, this is the Imag-r, and the image was done to be burned on wood. This is the processed version of a similar process in threshold, which is what the Imag-r was. This is just drag and dropping it onto the workbed. And this is my preferred method, which is the newsprint. And again, same speed, 4,000 speed, 85 power. Everything is equal here. So I tried to be as equal as I possibly could. And I think the most realistic, lifelike result that I got was right here, was with newsprint. So there you have it, folks. The showdown is over. And I think Lightburn wins this round. Now, I will say that I did do one little bit of processing to the image before I brought it in, and that was resize it. And the only reason I did that, I resized it down to 2.5 inches, is because if I brought the entire image in, it was like 2300 by, I don't know, 11 something. If I had brought that entire image in, Lightburn would keep that image even after I resize it, because it's non-destructive to images. So that is the one caveat. I did resize it before I brought it in. In the rare instance that I do images on wood, which is not too often, I have my eyeball test. And I take and I burn an eyeball at different speeds and powers just to find out which looks the best for that particular wood. So this doesn't mean that you don't not do your burn test. You always have to do a burn test, no matter what. Every piece of wood is going to be different. Every day the temperature is going to be different. The humidity is going to be different. There's all sorts of variables that are involved with burning on wood. So you still have to run your grid and your test pattern. And that's what I do with my eyeball test. I take and duplicate this eyeball and run it at different speeds and powers until I feel comfortable that I have the right settings. The facts are in. Lightburn can do everything that you need it to do. And I've been saying this for months now, since I started the channel a couple of months ago, that you don't need any third-party software to accent your laser hobby. All you need is Lightburn. It does everything that you need to do as long as you take the time to learn it. So that's it. A simple test, comparison of Lightburn versus Imag-r, and really you could do this with any piece of software that you're using. Just do a comparison for yourself. Save yourself so much time and effort just by getting to learn Lightburn's features. Once you've learned the features and you've taken the time and invested your time into learning, you'll see that it'll make you a lot more productive in the future in your hobby or your business, whichever you're doing. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much to everybody for watching. Thank you to my Patreons. Thank you to my donors. Thank you to you, my watchers, my subscribers. You've made this channel take off. It's only been a few months, and we just passed 7,000 subscribers. So I guess I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. You appear to be liking it. So I've got a lot more to come in the new year, and I want to take a moment to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate, Happy Holidays, and I hope that you all have a fantastic new year, although I'll probably have another video before the new year, that's for sure. But as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.